Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So this is the 64x64 build I've been teasing you guys about. First of all, happy Wednesday to all of you. I'm planning to make this into a 3-ish part Wednesday mini-series. I say 3-ish because the build itself is still ongoing, so I don't know how long it's actually going to take for me to finish this, but I have done the exterior and pretty much a little bit of the interior, so I have a pretty good idea on how long it's going to take for me to finish this. So yeah, I would say maybe 3 parts, maybe 4. But yeah, welcome back. We are back with a 64x64 this time. Can't remember the last time I did a 64x64 lot. It's been ages. And we're also back with another CC build. Now, for those of you who have been watching a lot of my recent builds, I have been thinking about doing a Bridgerton inspired build now for a while, ever since I saw the show a couple of months ago. So I reinstalled all of my Felixander CC, which I had to uninstall because I really wasn't using them at all. But yeah, this is what I came up with when I reinstalled all of my historical CC. For some reason, I just gravitated towards doing like a giant royal palace. Just a little fun history tidbit on the channel. I used to do a lot more builds like these during the early days of the channel. For some reason, I just really gravitated towards, the European royal palaces, and I tried to recreate them a lot during the early days of my channel, and also during the early days of The Sims 4. Looking back at those builds, I don't think they were that good, to be honest, but I have fond memories of doing them when I did them, almost, what, 6 or 7 years ago. This is crazy. But we're back, and I'm really excited because this is different from, it's quite different from what I've been doing recently, which is kind of veered more towards the Asian builds. And I love doing Asian builds because it's so much fun being able to share that side of my culture, I guess. But of course I also do love history in general, and I'm really excited to be able to share this with you guys. So here we are building our first royal palace. Now, since this is a royal palace, I did specifically design this to make it feel more believable as a royal palace. So this build actually ended up only having 2 bedrooms. There might be more, it really depends if I can find space for additional bedrooms, but the way I laid it out is for 2 bedrooms only, but that's mainly because I also had to make room for a lot of, kind of extra spaces that would make this into a royal palace, such as a ballroom and a throne room. So those rooms kind of taken the place of what you would expect to be bedrooms. But you know what, I do think that realistically speaking, I feel like this would be a pretty realistic, I guess, royal palace, because I did base this off of pre-existing Baroque palaces, specifically in France. Once you see the layout, you'd see that it's heavily influenced by the Palace of Versailles, probably one of my favorite royal palaces, but also once you see the shape of it, I think you can see like it was also inspired by, other chateaux like the Vaux-le-Vicomte, which is a really popular chateau. I think you can see that with the shape of the exterior and also a little bit of the floor plan on the interior as well. So yeah, really happy with how it turned out actually. one side of this palace is going to be the king's apartment and the other side is going to be the queen's apartment. Very Versailles-esque, if I do say so myself. And yeah, really excited to move in a sim in here and basically play dress up, you know, as Marie Antoinette, Louis the 16th. Speaking of that, by the way, I am so excited for the second season of The Great, because if you haven't seen it yet, I highly suggest it because it's probably one of my favorite period dramas that came out in 2020. There were actually quite a few good period dramas that came out last year. Emma was really good. Enola was really good as well, and of course Bridgerton, but there's something about The Great that I just really liked. Maybe because it was so funny, and it was also set in the 18th century, which is probably my favorite time period. I mean, I would honestly, I think my favorite time period would have to be the late 18th century, early 19th century. So, you know, late Georgian, early Regency, I love that period because there were so many interesting things going on here. The French Revolution, the Regency period, which is a really romantic time period thanks to Jane Austen. You know, I really love that. And of course, I am geeking out, but you know, I barely get to talk about this now, so I'm letting it all out. Speaking of Bridgerton, I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know this. I love the show. My only criticism about it, it's really not a criticism, to be honest. It's more of a nitpick. I wish the costumes were more historically accurate. That's all I gotta say. I love the show though, and I'm so excited for the second season. I've heard that it's going to focus more on the brother. I don't remember his name. Was he Anton or something like that? I forgot. Yeah, the older brother basically. I think it's going to focus on him. I think I'd like to see more of Daphne and the Count, because I'm really interested to see what happens with their relationship. But you know, I'm really interested to see what the second season's all about, because it's kind of unpredictable at this point based on what happened with the first season. So that's quite interesting, and I hope Enola gets a sequel because I need to see more of Enola and Viscount Tewkesbury. Honestly, Enola and Tewkesbury are the best couple of 2020. Best period drama couple. You know what? They're a contender for the best couple because I honestly couldn't think of any better couple in 2020 that made me feel things. Yeah. They just had such good chemistry and I really enjoyed it because of that. So yeah, really exciting stuff to look forward to, if I do say so myself. But of course, as always, I have blabbered on into the video and I completely forgot to talk about what's actually happening. So in case you can't tell, the build itself is very elaborate. I am using so many pieces to the point where the build itself was actually starting to lag after I finished the exterior. I haven't even furnished any of the interior and it was already starting to lag for me, and I have a pretty good PC, so that is a sign. Good luck to any of you who want to download this and who want to use this as like a functional home. I am definitely going to try to optimize this build, but you know, it is the palace and I barely get to do this, so I kind of went all out. I'm really happy with how the facade came together. As you can see, I did experiment quite a bit because I really wasn't sure what I wanted it to look like. I knew that I wanted the center bit to be the prominent feature because in Baroque architecture and in classical architecture in general, there's usually like a hierarchy. It does go based on some classical principles, you know, the hierarchy of spaces, the symmetry, the proportions, and all of that stuff. And usually when it comes to the hierarchy, the middle part is always highlighted. So I made it so that, you know, the middle part in this palace is, you know, the tallest bit and also the most elaborate. So, you know, I put this very elaborate pediment and those atlants those are what those are called, right? The male version of a caryatid. Yeah, I put those on the center level of this house. Okay, this is a really interesting part about this build is that most of it is actually just on the one floor. Okay, and there's a very important reason for that. If you saw at the very beginning of this video, I did use ceilings. Those ceilings are from Regal Sims, by the way. I used them to basically define the size of the rooms because I wanted a lot of the rooms to have, you know, the elaborate, you know, ceilings and frescoes and all of that stuff. But the ceiling item itself from Regal Sims only comes in 2 sizes, so I had to kind of design the space based on the predetermined sizes. So because of that, the rooms turned out the way they are, and also because I used the ceiling, the entire second floor of this build is basically just space for the ceilings. There's nothing in them. There's a little bit of space, so I might be able to use it if I really want to, but I don't know if I really want to do that because I'm quite happy with the layout of this palace the way it is right now. So yeah, it's more of a villa, to be honest, just based on the layout. It's fine because I did elevate it quite a bit, so it is, you know, there's still that hierarchy. So yeah, anyway, really happy with how it turned out still. And, you know, not furnishing the upper floor is a good excuse to make this build feel more optimized. But yeah, I think it makes sense to not furnish the second floor because I thought about furnishing it for like the servants, but I feel like for like palaces like these, they would have like a separate structure to house the servants anyway. So in some palaces, I think like in Versailles, like the attic part of the main palace is where the mistresses would live. So I don't know, maybe I can put like a little bedroom for the mistress or something. That's one of the things I'm thinking of, and one of the things that I can bring up in this video because the build itself is still unfinished. So if you have any feedback, please feel free to let me know because I will definitely implement it if I like it into the final product, because as you know, this is still a work in progress, and you know, this is your chance to actually give me some input and give me a chance to actually incorporate it in the build itself. So yeah, other than that, I am, you know, going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a personal update for those of you who care about what is going on in my personal life. And unfortunately today hasn't been going so well for me. I'm trying to keep a positive mindset, but earlier today I just found out that our whole neighborhood is going to be under lockdown for the next 4 days. So that is stressing me out a bit. I'm a bit worried about what's gonna happen to us because I think all of the shops are gonna be closed. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but yeah, like I said, I'm trying to have a positive mindset and hopefully it'll be over soon. You know, the most important thing is that we all stay safe, and you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. If they gotta lock down the whole neighborhood to make us all safe, then you know, I'm all for it, but I'm still nervous, and yeah, I'm trying to find ways to kind of help me pass the time, not worry too much. So yeah, hopefully this build can be my distraction for that. I definitely do have the time now to complete this, so yeah, hopefully I can do something with it. Probably not gonna work on it until I read some of your feedback, so yeah. By the way, this video is going to be slightly different from the usual format because there's no way I can do like the usual cinematic house tour at the end. So I think I'm gonna share screenshots of the bits of the build that we've finished in this video so that you can see what we've done so far. But other than that, really nothing too eventful. I haven't been buying any Nendroids recently, but I did buy some prize figures, which I'm really excited to share. I think I posted a picture of the prize figures of Kuroshitsuji that I bought a while back. I was supposed to have 2 Nendroids for February, but I'm guessing they got delayed. I mean, obviously they got delayed because it's already March and none of them arrived, so that's that. I did pre-order those, so yeah, I'm guessing they just got delayed, like from the production side. And let's see, oh yes, one thing that I'm very excited to update you guys on is that I'm currently trying to teach myself how to make CC, and I've already posted my very first creation on Twitter for those of you who want to check it out and want to have a little bit of a sneak peek on what I'm planning to do. But I've been trying to learn CC for years now, but it's been so hard for me, so I kind of gave up, and for some reason I just randomly thought about trying it out again a while back, a couple of weeks ago, and surprisingly I was able to pick up on like some basic CC making techniques. So yeah, really excited to expand my content and also create my own CC. Really excited about that, but that's probably still a long way off. So anyway, I think that's all I gotta say for this build actually, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go now. Thank you so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys this weekend for another build. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!